It was a small house for 5 women. I said, "Come, live free for 2 years with no authority living with you. Live free." I did it because I figured that's what I would want if I were coming in off the streets or out of prison, where people were telling me what to do all day. I didn't do it because of my mom or because of the childhood sexual abuse I experienced at the hands of a church elder, though all of that was part of it. I did it because sanctuary is the most practical ideal of all. I wasn't interested in repackaging charity in shiny new boxes with the latest words. I was bored by trendy cause hawking that left me feeling disconnected. I was disillusioned by a bifurcated political system that numbs compassion. I wanted to do the work of healing from the inside out, and that begins with a safe home. Imagine for a moment a small seed of hope lying dormant in your heart. You hold on to it, despite trauma and injustices you may have faced since you could spell your own name. One day, you arrive safely at your new home and allow community to be like the soil, and resources to act like sun and water, so finally that tiny seed grows into a stunning plant, scattering blossoms of love 100-fold. From its humble beginning, Thistle Farms now has 30 global partners that employ more than 1,600 women. In the United States alone, Thistle Farms has more than 50 sister communities offering free 2-year housing. The global artisan survivors are creating revolutionary crafts that help restore their communities. The mission to be a global movement for women's freedom is broad and is growing exponentially come hell, high water, or pandemics. Initially, it seemed a bit ridiculous to me to think that by starting a small community, we could somehow change the world. But now it seems more ridiculous to me to think that somehow the world will change if we don't do something. Now I can see that one loving gesture is practically divine. We have to do small things and believe a big difference is coming. It's like the miraculous drops of water that seep through mountain limestone. They gather themselves into springs that flow into creeks, that merge into rivers that find their way to oceans. Our work is to envision the drops as oceans. We do our small parts and know a powerful ocean of love and compassion is downstream. Each small gesture can lead to liberation. The bravest thing we can do in this world is not cling to old ideas or fear of judgment, but step out and do something for love's sake. I am writing this book for everyone hungry to taste the divine, struggling to see it, needing inspiration and challenge to go back out and try again. You can cross lines and gain new perspective. It is possible to love the whole world. We don't have to get cynical, fearful, numb, or be shamed into thinking we have nothing to offer. I think sometimes it's even much easier than we think. I have sat through way too many presentations in which a speaker will say something like, "Here are the 4 C's to a fulfilling life." We take out our notebooks or laptops to write down or type the 4 C words. We can't help ourselves. Then the next night I lie in bed and think of 3 of the words, tossing and turning, trying to recall the 4th. By the end of the week, I'm lucky if I remember that the word started with C. There is no secret formula to experiencing the sacred in our lives. It just takes practice and practicality. The deep truth of our lives and the fullness we are striving for don't happen with someone giving us the code to deep knowledge. Meaning and faith are not secret things. Sometimes what we need most is to remind one another of how the divine is all around us, calling us to see and taste it for ourselves. We can find our deep truth and purpose while we are on the way to the grocery store or struggling to make a marriage work. We can find beauty while we go through a TSA checkpoint or walk along any sidewalk. We can feel gratitude sitting in a waiting room or forgiving ourselves for one thing we didn't get done. Practice might not lead to perfection, but it will lead us closer to love. When we cultivate our ability to see the divine in the midst of our days, slowly we can trust that deep within us lies the same love that was woven into creation. I have felt the practically divine all along the way of my personal journey. Even when I didn't know where I was headed or worried that a new justice enterprise would be too much to take on, I knew I had to do something. It is good news that beyond our power to fully understand, our path is full of sacred crumbs.